Hello everyone, my name is Mitz. Here we are back at Higurashi When They Cry. Going into actually chapter 10, so that means we actually have 3 chapters left. I can't do my maths right from the last episode. But also the fact now that this installment seems to be completely going through the second one of where Mion killed everyone who broke into the ritual storehouse verbatim, but this time from Shion's perspective. So I actually had to look back at the second installment, and I was technically right. I remember that Shion did have a phone call with Keiichi, but only once to meet up at the library. She wanted to talk to Keiichi about something the day after breaking the ritual storehouse, and then Oishi showed up, and then she left the library, and she was kidnapped. That was the last time she was ever seen alive until Keiichi found her in the underground bunker, like several chapters later. And if it's gonna be from her perspective for this entire second installment, and then that means we're gonna see what she want to talk to Keiichi about, and also that there was a mention like from whether it was Mion or Demon Mion. It also rhymes like Demonion, Demon Mion. Yeah, the mentioning of him like that version of Mion saying like there was like many years of grudges, like she was projecting onto Shion, which I guess in some way could be seen as Shion sort of silently blaming, or at least having some sort of small distrust against Mion for maybe being involved in parts of Toshi's disappearance, which honestly makes complete sense. And man, just watching through the whole ending again was honestly really cathartic. Still, that ending, that whole entire chapter is spectacular, and it's definitely strange just to see a different side as a perspective, like from inside Shion's head. It's a whole different ball game. But I'm also got to remind me of the mystery that was left on the cliffhanger for that installment. The fact that Mion died the very second that like just after like tasing Keiichi into unconsciousness after fleeing from the police. She stuck a ladder and died that day. Yet several days later, Mion technically stabbed Keiichi, and you might think that'd be Shion who stabbed because they look just the same. The exact same time, Kasai literally heard next door in the same apartment complex that Shion was apparently having an argument with her sister, and she was found right then and there, fallen out from the building, dead. And wherever in Hinamizawa and Okamiya are completely like an hour away, and they were attacked at the same time. Plus the fact that Takano technically was dead before even the day of Wanta Ganashi. So the person who invited her and told her they're breaking the ritual storehouse was technically not Takano, but this is still the exact same rules of like Takano and Tamataki always breaking the ritual storehouse. It technically means that Takano was technically the one who killed or was implied to have killed Tamatake, which I do not how to interpret it. But the only thing I can think of is holy shit, the second song was amazing. Just re-seeing that again. Holy shit, that was good. That was amazing. The first one too. Like, my good god, it's good. Holy shit, it's good. Oh boy. So the rest of the chapter's all gonna be like her thinking about trying to talk to Keiichi, then the rest is just her time in captivity. In the last installment or so is all about what happened in the apartment. That seems like the best place to end it off, but even still, I don't know how to reconcile the fact of them I guess fake corpses, but because like that does make sense, but like actually fabricating real people, and I'm pretty sure fabricating corpses is way much more harder than fabricating medicine and drugs that can't be traced. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially on a trained veterans and specialist. Unless those people were like bought off, since there was pressure from some of the police department, Okunomiya, definitely, and still the Sonozaki family, well, the ones still alive, definitely were pressuring the police and like paying everyone off, like to keep power and balance and all that. Plus the fact that Oria was killed, the grandmother, so the whole mishmash of what the actual frickety fuck is happening. So My relatives gathered at the Sonozaki house to the festival to have a little party. Oh yeah, okay, so you're continuing off from this night actually. This is literally after the festival. You went with Mion and like technically Mion drank herself like to death and woke up the next day and asked Keiichi were you with the two victims in Shion and broke into the storehouse? She didn't ask if they broke into the storehouse, but asked if they were around and Keiichi was too paranoid to give a clear answer. So, oh, okay. Yeah, this is this is the hallway with that we saw from Keiichi's perspective in the second installment, talking to me and then following her outside from here. They closed up the doors, or to the side. I mingled with my uncles and had fun. I was trying to get rid of my eerie memories at Ritual Storehouse. You're completely fine with all the tales that I'm like Mio Takano like talking about the ritual store implements and all of that and all the torture stuff because you're used to it. But that's stomping, man, traumatizing. I'll be actually fucking freaked out too if that happened to me, honestly, really. So yeah, I don't blame you. Oh hi. Oh, we're in this room. Oh god. Mion was acting as a successor, so I tried to stay away from her. I'm sure she would feel weird if I talked to her in a formal way. The weird thing is that she started acting weird with the glazed eyes literally the next day. Like it actually does make sense like how she talked that way, but she still had the glazed eyes like asking intimidating just intimidating Keiichi to answer with those same exact eyes, which every time Keiichi sees, he always equates to it's not Mion. In that instance when she does that, he does feel it is her still. So, that means everyone is still capable of doing that. Well, especially it was already shown in like the third chapter that Reina technically did the same thing, and she was still in character. She just had a very she was very worked up with the curse, which still lines up with the first installment and Keiichi listening pretending to be asleep. In consideration of the hag's old age, we entered the party around 11 p.m. We got a strict bedtime to go. If we sleep at like 11:01, we're all fucking doomed. We all had to clean up, with the women washing the dishes in the kitchen, and the men folding the tables and putting them away in a storeroom. In a ritualistic storeroom? In a house? It only took about 30 minutes, then everyone left. One to another, it better not be 11:01. That's when everyone will be doomed. By then, Mion was no longer acting as the Sonozaki's successor, and was back to being her normal self. Wait, like, how much did... Huh? I thought she was drunk, though. Or, like, she just drank some, or... I still remember when Keiichi accused him, Mion of, like, how old are you? Why you were drinking? And then gave the excuse of him, guzzling beer cans in the third installment. That's just fucking hilarious to me. Two different scenarios, but still, that's just funny to me. Maybe I exerted a little. I was lying on the tatami floor. Hello, Kasai. Kasai asked me if I can get in the car, so I told my brother not move anymore. Says, can I spend the night here? I just want to sleep. Granny won't get mad if she finds you. By the way, don't you have school tomorrow, Shion? No, tomorrow's our school's anniversary, so there's no class. Sleeping a nice futon. Oh my god. How many times a year does your school have its anniversary? Oh, well, you fucking flaker. Okay, Kasai-san. You can stay here tonight. Understood. Good night. Bye. I still love your fucking tie, man. The skulls, the red skulls. It's still fucking amazing. Never forget it. Come on, Shion, wake up. Granny will get really mad if you fell asleep right here. What, you just fell asleep in the goddamn doorway and, like, the grandma just actually trip and, like, just rain even more punches down on the younger sister. Oh my god. Here, hold on to me. You can sleep in my room. You know what, sis? You are acting just like you're not drunk. Either you got drunk after this, or you lied and got out of class yesterday, like the day after. Let me put on my suspicious goggles. My alter ego told me that I'm in a demon's stomach. I wouldn't have woken up if I hadn't heard that voice. But when I stop, he always walks one extra step. I might not have woken up at all. Ah, you're quitting as an alternate ego now, huh? So did something happen the night here which you want to talk to Keiichi about? Huh. I didn't remember much after that. I was probably brought to Mion's room and immediately crawled into the futon. After a while, Mion got her own futon ready next to me, turned the lights off, and went to sleep. At least, that's what I thought. But the alter ego was actually Mion, like, goddamn stalking me while I was sleeping, sitting over me. I got up and turned the lights on. Mion's futon was empty. The futon felt cold. Mia must have left it a while ago. Did she go to the bathroom? I mean, if it was still that cold, then, she must have been in there for quite a while. No, the closest bathroom is right there down the hallway. The light in that bathroom was off. Where did she go? The ticking of the clock was loud and annoying in the silence. Okay, this atmosphere for this late night. Okay, this is honestly a great setup first. The hands pointed to a little before 3 a.m. I was left alone all of a sudden, in this late night. I felt the eeriness of the ritual storehouse coming back to me, after almost managing to forget it in the ruckus earlier. I tried to sense my surroundings. In this house, there shouldn't be an eerie atmosphere, strange noises or footsteps, not even from your dear ghostly Satoshi, or whoever it is now so you can't recognize them anymore. I stepped out into the freezing cold hallway to look for Mion. When I did, I immediately noticed light coming from one of the nearby rooms. That room belonged to the hag. The hag went to sleep early and woke up early. She was very strict about her bedtime, so it was strange to see her light on in the middle of the night. I don't think I remember exactly they ever mention when the grandma was killed. They did mention no one has heard from her in a bit, though. Oh, and the fact that there was extra bodies found in the well in the bunker, but those were decades old. There was nothing about Satoshi. I think I misremembered that part. But I definitely remembered of the fact if there was a year old body in there, not decades old, so huh. Don't think if it matches up with the other past years anyway, with the damn foreman of the first curse and all that extending to present day though. She was very strict about her bedtime, so strange to see her light on in the middle of the night. I could hear voices, too. Those voices belonged to the hag and Mion. They're planning to kill you. I crept up to the room and listened to their conversation. Since it was the middle of the night, I can hear their words very clearly. But those young ones went too far. You're right. They made Oyashiro-sama angry, so I guess they got what they deserved. Mion's voice sounded as cold as the one I heard from down in the torture room. I held my breath. The police say they are investigating, but are you sure? I guess. It's probably Takano-san. That's the thing, they definitely still don't really know who it is. Like, they're not technically part of it, but they hear about it quickly. My heart almost stopped. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama got angry. The police are investigating. It's probably Takano-san. And what day was it today? It's the day after! Unless I get my dates wrong, either Wataganashi Festival actually happened June 19th or June 20th. It was June 19th, then dang it. I missed being born the cursed day by 1. Those words told me that something was happening. My teeth started to chatter. I desperately tried to stop them. I felt like my body was swelling up suddenly. I can no longer hear as well. Calm down. Breathe. Listen more carefully. According to the Mion in the hag's conversation, another incident definitely took place. The victims were Takano-san and Tomataki-san, and apparently Takano technically isn't the same one, or at least that body they found was dead the festival day. Way before they even met. From what I can tell, both me and the hag thought it made sense that whatever it was happened to them. No. No, no, no. I need to think more calmly. They did say they deserved it for making Oyashiro-sama angry. They did say Takano-san and Tamataki-san made Oyashiro-sama angry? How did they make Oyashiro-sama angry? They knew. My body started to shake. They knew we stuck into the ritual storehouse. And that would mean Keiichi and I were also subject to the Oyashiro-sama's curse? Suddenly a phone rang. The phone was by the front door. The front door was opposite the hag's room, farther down the hall. The ringing echoed throughout the long hallway. It sounded so eerie, almost like it was coming from hell. That was when I felt someone behind me. Of course, there's nobody there when I turned around. You should probably hide in a room right now, because your sister's gonna go through a door, and it's gonna be hard to explain, like while you're just eavesdropping right there, because eavesdropping apparently is also a sin, and Oyashiro-sama will add that to the list. But there was someone there a moment ago. I didn't know if it was Satoshi-kun. I didn't sense any emotions, so I couldn't tell. You're actually putting a lot of emphasis on trying to gauge emotion from it. I know that's what you mentioned before, of like hearing laughter and all that from them initially, but that's actually very intriguing from that angle, and no one else has ever mentioned something similar to that. It's always only just just a sense of presence behind them, and just an extra set of footsteps, like an extra footstep, but nothing about an emotion. Probably because you've been honing on to this, this ghostly visage a bit longer than most people. So I also didn't know how long it had been there. Also, doesn't that technically mean that since Satoshi had the same feeling before, then that means you're technically cursed as well, and you're taking it as a moment of comfort. I can't tell if that's because oh god, another way for me to fucking interpret this is just an actual goddamn death wish, but oh god. Oh boy, that goes a whole other avenue. It was as if that somebody was watching me listen in their conversation. That was the feeling I got. Just eavesdrop inception. It couldn't be Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun would never be that intimidating or scary. My mind turned all red, like it was suffused with blood. Maybe we should hide? Have you experienced anything like that? Those footsteps always followed me. They even came to my bedside and looked down at me. I remember what Reina Ryugu had said on that rainy day. You'll be okay, if that's true. Oyashiro-sama won't get mad at you. If Oyashiro-sama wasn't angry, nobody would follow me. So what did this mean? Technically, you're having a fun time talking to him, the Omen of Death. Which, honestly, if you were gonna go out like that, why not date the Grim Reaper, honestly? That's a power move right there. Ever since we snuck into the shrine storage, something has been following me? What is it? Calm down. Calm down. That's right. Reina wasn't talking about me. She was talking about Satoshi-kun. That's what happened to Satoshi-kun! Everything he's going through is a sign of Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's right. That's why you encountered the curse of Oyashiro-sama. You feel someone is watching from a distance, and it follows you. A creepy feeling crawled up and spread across my back. Then it watches from right behind you. Then you start hearing an extra footstep. I swallowed loudly. It's almost as though Reina Ryugu was predicting what would happen to me. Had Reina been talking about Satoshi-kun back then? Yes. Or had she actually been talking about me? But you start hearing it even inside your house after a while. Then, Oyashiro-sama keeps watching you even when you're sleeping in the dark. Right by your side, waiting silently. I knew by now that there was no mistake. No matter how I looked at it, she'd been talking about me. Yes, me. It had been about me. The curse of Oyashiro-sama. What is the curse of Oyashiro-sama? That was when I actually felt something for real. Someone grabbed my collar. The voice came out. I wanted to scream, but all I could do was open and close my mouth as something was stuck in my throat. Hi. Yeah, you were taking too long. You were spotted. Look at that, yay. It was Mion. She looked even colder than how she looked in the underground torture room. It only made sense that she'd come out into the hallway and answer the phone. I tried to come up with an excuse. However, the way Mion looked at me was so cold. If I really had onto her by accident, I could tell by the look in her eyes that she wouldn't believe me. I felt cold settle over my body. I couldn't even move my fingers. Sorry. I apologized. I could have said something to get myself out of the situation, but the apology came out first. But Mion didn't appear to hear me. She walked to the front door, still holding my collar. You're coming with me, come on. That's still fucking funny. The phone was still ringing. No person doesn't usually let a phone ring so long this time of night. You might have been in your thoughts from way too long, a way too short of a time. The phone call itself didn't seem real to me. Mion picked up the phone. This actually explains that why she technically was late, because she was up all night, basically, talking. This is Mion. I see. I understand. Please take care of things at your end. Also, please make sure that nobody talks about this. Yes. Goodbye. Mion put the phone down after a short conversation. What did she mean? Make sure nobody talks about this. Who called any... Wait. Mion put her forehead to mine and spoke to me. Oh. Did you hear? Which conversation was she asking me about? Well, she had to be talking to me the one with the hag. I said yes, what happened to me? I don't know what you're talking about. Mion pulled my collar, pressed her nose on mine, and continued to speak. Just what you heard. The curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon Tomataki-san and Takano-san. It's really very unfortunate. It's like I was talking to myself in a mirror. I was saying the mirror was ever so cold. Sis, what is the curse of Oyashiro-sama? Tomataki-san killed himself by clawing out his throat. Takano-san was burned to death in an oil drum. She was strangled to death first, I remember that. Terrible, isn't it? Tomataki-san clawed his own throat until he died? What? Takano-san was burned to death in an oil drum? What? I felt something furry crawl up my spine. Is a tarantula. I also felt my stomach was turning upside down. I didn't feel any strength in my legs. If Mion let go of my collar, I'd probably collapse in the spot. Why did they die that way? Don't you know, Shion? I'm asking you because I don't know. I don't know. Don't you see there can only be one reason? Please don't talk as if I already know the answer. What do you mean? My heart was pounding. I felt that my next breath would be so bloody and hot that I'd choke on it. Don't you know? It's because they made Oyashiro-sama angry. The first year, it was the manager of the dam construction site. The second year was the traitors to the village. The third year, it was the pacifists. The fourth year, it was relatives of the traitors. I'd always thought the victims were people who had something to do with the dam conflict. Since I didn't do anything against the village during the dam conflict, I assumed I was safe. I should have known. I should have known everything would be the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I knew Oyashiro-sama's anger was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I knew Oyashiro-sama would get angry if he snuck into the ritual storehouse. But since I wasn't held responsible in any way for the dam conflict, I never thought I'd be a victim of the curse. Did I ever think there would be an incident in the 5th year? Did I ever think that I'd be the victim of the 5th year incident? Tomataki-san snuck into the storehouse, and he clawed at his own throat until he died. Takano-san was burned to death in an oil drum. It must be a lie. It couldn't be true. If it was forbidden, it was just a space for storing some old torture implements. How could they be killed just for sneaking in there? Especially in such gruesome ways. I thought about it again and realized those people were absolutely capable of doing things like that. The main Sonozaki family is capable of it. The Sonozaki family have been pulling the string behind the series of mysterious deaths. They could do it. The Sonozaki family even kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction during the damn conflict. They could do it. The Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear completely. They could do it. What just happened? Mion leaned against me before falling into the cold hallway floor. She collapsed rather violently. I usually didn't go to sleep with my stun gun. Oh, holy sh... Oh, sh... Wait a fucking second. The second summon ended with Mion using that same gun. But they are obviously using them, like, the names back and forth like that. She grabbed it at some point. Holy shit. But since I was too tired and sleepy to get ready for bed, I still had it on me. And my stun gun on me. I finally understood. I didn't know who killed them exactly, whose idea it was, or who ordered it here. I didn't even know who was actually involved. But Mion, the hag, knew everything. Satoshi-kun. Now I finally know. Now I know what I need to do. I'll settle the score for you, Satoshi-kun. I will avenge you, Satoshi-kun. I won't be killed like you, Satoshi-kun. I walked into the hag's room. She was sitting up to take some medicine. Her back was turned to me. Oh, yeah, that's the thing, but, Why then go along... Oh, well, she, like, if Mion was threatened to, like, say that she was Shion the entire time, I guess so. Like, she was following along with every kind of order that I guess, quote-unquote, Mion did at the very end, so, Interesting. But then technically means that at some point, if that is true, that it was Shion who killed everyone, then. Even Rika and then, the mayor, because she thought, like, they all were behind it, the three families, and killed Satoshi and everyone else. Then... what happened when, quote-unquote, Shion died and Keiichi was stabbed then? If there was already a body dead at the bottom of the well then? The hag was sitting up to take some medicine. Her back was turned to me. Mion and I are twins. I had to like her, the hag would notice a difference. I didn't think she ever suspected me. I put my stun gun to her neck and pulled the trigger. And here I heard an indescribable electrical sound. The hag's lights went out. She fell in a twisted position. I didn't know how long it would take a person to regain their freedom of movement after getting knocked out with a stun gun, so I had to strain them before they woke back up. I was unbelievably calm. The key to the underground torture room was in the forbidden drawer that only the head of the family can access. Miana told me about this once. I never looked for the drawer before, but I found it exactly where I thought it would be. The key was on a keychain of several of its sisters. Each key had a unique little plaque on it that said what it was used for. They were all in Mion's handwriting. She was an idiot for being so conscientious, but sure helped me out. I put the keychain in my pocket and headed to the outdoor storeroom to find a cart. I found a large flashlight there as well. There was a strap in the flashlight so I could put it on my shoulder. That way, I'd have both hands free to carry Mion, the hag. I loaded Mion and then our grandmother onto the cart and carried them to the underground torture room. I was prepared to use a stun gun again if they woke up while I was working. But it was more powerful than I imagined, and the hag showed no signs of waking. This was the stun gun Kasai specially ordered for me when I told him I wanted a powerful one. I remembered him telling me that it was an illegally modified stun gun, and that I should never use it just for fun. My next thought is, like, technically speaking, that how would then the new Mion would actually know about the apartment complex, but if Shion was actually the person who actually killed everyone, then, and if that was Shion who went to the apartment complex and like her dimension also stays and all that, And she was paranoid about everyone. Why didn't she settle back into that apartment then, if that was where she knew her younger sister was, like, you know, living there? And obviously would go check there first. At least one of there first. Why? There's also a possibility she just forgot about it, like, the whole, like, stress and the torture of it all from, days of, watching someone, like, people you're close to, like, get killed repeatedly over and over and over again. There's just that, then. What is the possibility, then, was Shion maybe, like, technically behind some of the first installment in some capacity, then? Was she acting that way, or was that Mion, actually, then? You know, because, like, there's a motive to it, I guess, a bit now, but, like, why then, like, go and attack Keiichi, then, for that? Doesn't quite make much sense, then, at all. And of course, Kasai will probably bring, like, quote-unquote, Shion to the apartment complex, like, thinking it actually was Shion. But just strange, like, thinking about it further on, so there's not, like, the details are eluding me then. I remembered him telling me that it was an illegally modified stun gun. I should never use it just for fun. I used my flashlight to find a light switch. I found it easily and turned it on. Ah, yes, the great familiar thing. Oh, I'm at the stairs. Are you just gonna launch their bodies down the stairs? Okay. Like ragdoll effect. All the lights went on in the basement. Although it was now illumination, it was very dim. They moved quickly so as to finish what I need to do before they woke up. I decided to put me on a cell beyond the torture room. The lights in the torture room were so bright that it was like daylight. There was a door there. I was fairly certain the cells were on the other side of the door. The proper key was here. The keys made a tinkling sound. I felt cold air coming in through the gap in the door. There must have been a huge opening on the other side. I opened the door and saw nothing but darkness. I felt along the wall to find a light switch. Ah, yes, here. Okay. I turned the switch on, and the light bulbs lit up, revealing a huge, rocky cave. It didn't look like a natural cave. It looked more like an air raid shelter. There were several hollow openings with bars across them. Those were the cells. That actually like explains the whole reason of like how they're gonna fill 3 whole chapters. Then if it's literally just Shion being like kidnapped and put behind bars, then this is also the other way to do it. So there's that. I walked up to the closest cell and tried to see if it was strong enough to confine her. I pushed and pulled in the bars. I rammed against them with all my might, decided they were perfectly sturdy. This was secure enough to be called a cell. I opened the lock and carried me on in. I wasn't particularly strong, just average. I never thought I was strong enough to carry a whole person. But now I didn't need to pretend to be weak. I could easily lift and drag their bodies. They also mentioned a couple times that Shion was good at acting, and literally has the same exact thought process as Mion. And they do talk regularly. So, yeah. It could have been her talking, like, on the phone the entire time as well. But if that was she on the phone, like, talking like that... Huh. Why go after Keiichi, then? That doesn't quite make sense. I put Mia in the cell. She seemed to moan a little. I didn't need to check to make sure. The effect of my stun gun was wearing off. I closed the bars and turned the key in the lock. They ran to the hag, who must have been starting to wake up too. Fortunately, there was no sign of her regaining consciousness. Maybe the difference in age has something to do with it. I was already thinking that way. Probably way much more weaker. Oh boy. I looked for a table to restrain her on. I found a wheelchair with restraints for the hands and feet. I put the hag in it. Of course, she didn't resist, but her dead weight made it seem like she was a huge French doll. The one made of flesh. I put her hands in the armrests, restrained them at the wrists with the metal rings and hinges. I did the same with her feet. This must have been a wheelchair specifically remodeled to restrain a person. Other than the restraints, it was a regular wheelchair. I waited for the hag to wake up. I had so many things I wanted to ask her. I didn't think she'd answer honestly, but I had plenty of tools to make her talk. I was in no rush. When the hag had a concern, relatives took care of the problem. That was how it worked in the Sonozaki family. She was the leader of the family, so all the information they gathered would make its way to her. Oh, okay, so Rika also trying to think now. I should also bet that this end of chapter is over. Then the cats. I need to re-listen to Rika's conversation he had with Keiichi about all that and that code. Oh boy. She was the leader of the family, so the information they gathered would make its way to her. She must know everything that happened in Hinamizawa, including the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I heard a noise in the cell. Mion must have woken up before the hag did. Speaking of the hag, she didn't seem like she was about to wake up anytime soon. But if she was trained, even if she did, so I had no need to fear. I wonder if Oreo is dead, actually. Oh god. I left the hag there and headed for the cell. Shion, what do you think you're doing? She talked like the successor, but she also sounded frightened. She obviously understood the situation she was in right now. Well, good morning, Mion. Never thought you'd be in here and be in there, huh? As the acting head, I order you. Open this up. You don't sound so scary in there. You talk more like a leader, don't you think? Though talking that way will only make you look like a fool. That does explain also that Keiichi is thinking it was Mion was acting like Mion. In a way. Yeah. There's nothing funny about it, but I wanted to intimidate Mion. My laughter echoed throughout the cave. It was artificial and meaningless laughter. I heard it over and over as it echoed. It sounded as if I wasn't the only one laughing. I couldn't stand it, so I stopped. Silence filled the air. That silence almost hurt my ears, so I started to speak. Tomotaki-san and Takano-san became the victims this year. I didn't expect that. What an idea to burn Takano-san to death. Actually, she would be the kind of person who'd prefer to die that way. Maybe she's satisfied, huh? Mion didn't say anything. She just stared at me to see how I proceeded. What about the way Tomotaki-san died? He clawed at his own throat, right? Did you give him a shot of some kind? Or is there a torture device that did that to him? Mion didn't reply. I was smiling boldly, but I became impatient and finally kicked the bars. It made a violent noise. I don't even know if Tomotaki would be restrained to a table to mimic that, because wasn't there also some sort of autopsy for another victim where it was described they were also, from the looks of it, they also kind of figured they are also restrained to a table. But I was sitting there thinking, how the hell would they figure that out, honestly? Just from how the victim was injured. Didn't make quite any sense. Made a violent noise. Mion jumped as if she was kicked directly. It's boring not to get any answers. Do you have any idea what will happen if I get angry? How would I know? She finally replied. She was audacious. At the same time, sounded pitiful. Hey, Mion? As a successor, why don't you tell me? Let's see. I had just too many things I wanted to ask her. That's the thing, because if we try torturing her, she'll probably just say anything that comes to mind, because there's the whole thing, when someone's in stress or they threatened by injuries and all that, they'll just say anything that comes to mind. Whether it's a lie, the truth, or anything like that, you can't take anything they say seriously, honestly. I wanted to ask her about me, about the incident, about the curse, about Satoshi-kun. I didn't even know where to start. Before I asked her about those, I asked her about one other thing. You know there's no point trying to resist, don't you? I wonder if the reason why she went out there and killed, I guess, or she is gonna kill Rika and the mayors, because she kind of blames them a bit. Like if she went actually slowly going insane, then yeah, honestly, she would actually start blaming everyone around. But those two are definitely still not explained. Who like targeted them? But like, how I'm just wondering what the twisted logic would be if for like why she would blame Keiichi, because she invited him. So, and again, we don't even know who technically was the killer by the very end anyway. Mian glared at me silently. Because we were twins, I knew that was just a bluff. We've come this far, so there's no point in me hesitating anymore. You shouldn't expect hesitation or even mercy from me, sis. Mian must have been feeling the cold sweat in her face. Although the light was dim, I could tell she was frightened. Okay, here I go. First, about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. What's the meaning of it? Is it to signify the end of the damn conflict? I think so. Mian sounded a little confused, but she answered. I felt satisfaction now that we were communicating. I continued with a smile. You think, huh? Don't you know the details? You know yourself that the successor is simply a messenger for Granny. Yeah, right. But the successor must know everything the current head is thinking, right? Do you really think I believe you're just a messenger? Although I'm always around Granny, I don't always know what she's thinking. It's not like I can understand her all the time. Okay, so you're just saying that everything about the curse of Oyashiro-sama is decided by the hag herself, right? I assumed she talked to the successor about it. When it's something dangerous, Granny decides it on her own. Oh. I don't have anything to do with it. But even if she decides by herself, Grandma uses you to take care of various things, doesn't she? You're telling me you don't know anything? No! She doesn't use me for that. I really don't understand it myself, but it's like I take care of problems on the surface, and someone else takes care of problems on the underside. Who? Who's the one that takes care of these underside problems on the flip side? I don't know. Haven't you seen anyone? Haven't you overheard a phone conversation? Must have been someone who gets in touch with the hag at the same time every year, around the time the curse happens. What did you talk about on the phone, I guess, as well? There's that, too. It just seemed like you were taking more fault in overhearing about the curse itself and, like, bringing up like, literally intimidating Shion about that, which, I don't know. I really don't. Mion shook her head. Okay. Let me change the question. Why were Tomataki-san and Takano-san chosen as victims, even though they had nothing to do with the dam conflict? Was it because they snuck into the ritual storehouse? As soon as Mion heard the words ritual storehouse, her expression shifted. The ritual storehouse? Did they intrude in the storehouse, the fruity shrine? Didn't you know? I thought you already knew. They really did that. Then it was truly stupid of them. Of course something would happen to them. Mion muttered bitterly while shaking her head repeatedly. Huh. I think that's mostly just her believing the curse, honestly, than anything else. I can't make head or tails of anything of this so far because, again, saying anything that comes to mind. But if like they have the they know what they're thinking, then she can Shion would probably tell that she's lying. There was that, but Mion's reaction made me realize the true meaning of the forbidden storehouse for ritual implements. And actually thinking about the tip section probably should literally tipped me up because because Shion wouldn't most likely even learn about Tomataki and Takano learn about the curse and all that until the day after. And she would have written all that down when she got back home to her apartment after quote unquote the library exit. So This is really intriguing. Mion's reaction made me realize the true meaning of the forbidden storehouse for ritual implements. The ritual storehouse is a sacred building, so nobody can go inside. The curse will fall upon any who disobey. Any child would know that rule. However, just because they knew about it didn't mean that they all believed in it. Although they were told they would be cursed, most of the children actually enjoyed hearing the stories. They simply didn't believe it was true. However, Mion's reaction told me it absolutely was. If they actually did that, of course something would happen to them. She was saying that someone snuck into the ritual storehouse. That person should be killed. What you know and what I know aren't matching up anymore. Of course I'm aware I shouldn't just waltz into the storehouse. But to be killed in such a gruesome way for doing it? I never knew that. Did you? Just because you're ignorant about it, Shion. Then you should have talked about this more then. What the fuck? Well, sorry for being ignorant. Could you please explain it to me then? I mean, just like you said, the kids don't really believe in the curse. They assume it's just superstition. But they also know that if an adult found out, they'd be in big trouble. But to the elderly people in Hinamizawa, it's something more serious. Mion explained to me how the elderly people blindly believe in Oyashiro-sama, how sacred the festivals are to them. It's probably something the younger generations would never understand, but they're possessed by a very strong, deeply rooted devotion toward Oyashiro-sama. Mion then went on to tell me about how sinful it was to violate the rule of the ritual storehouse. I just couldn't believe things like that were still going on even in the modern day. I couldn't even reply appropriately. So literally just that was the reason why just Sadako was cursed? Because of that and all the elders heard about it, they just started, like, hampering all this honor just because of that as a little fucking kid? I couldn't reply even appropriately, but if it was unbelievable, I couldn't ignore what I was hearing from my twin sister. I see. But Mion, doesn't the rules say that one victim gets killed by the curse, another has to become a sacrifice? The body sacrifice is never to be found, but there are 2 dead bodies this time. What do you think of that? Mion doesn't know that besides Takano-san, Tamataki-san, Keiichi and I also snuck into the ritual storehouse. So I try to lead her on a little. I know that doesn't make sense. Maybe Takano-san's burned body wasn't supposed to be found. Maybe the intention was for her to vanish. Or... not too sure, but... But what? Just say what you're thinking, I won't get mad. Mion hesitated a little first, then she started to speak. Actually, 4 people stuck into this shrine storage, so maybe... Maybe what? Maybe the other 2 will become the sacrifice and get demoned away. Oh, you heard about that then? Holy shit, okay then. Alright. That explains why Shion kept staying as Mion for a while. And then there was the mix-up at the very end. Oh boy, actually, holy shit. My god. That doesn't explain the very ending bit, though, of, like, both twins are still alive, even though there was definitely a dead body. Mion's words were stuck in my head. Like, this is honestly so goddamn interesting and so cool. Like, there's so many things rapidly firing in my head in a minute. Because if this was, if Shion pretended to be Mion, and, like, you know, pretended to go to school and, like, you know, got out of school, all that just, I guess pretend to be normal for a bit and actually talk more to, Mion here, then she was, like, trying to egg Keiichi on to not say anything to everyone else by, all that? I'm just trying to figure out the reason why she would then. And the rest of the school day is like, what was it? Every time, like... Actually, yeah, thinking about it, I can't remember if there was any moment, like, after that happened that there was any important scenes happening at school that Keiichi had with Mion after all that, because Rika told him to stay away from Mion. Oh. 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 Okay. If those two dead bodies are the result of the curse, then there should be two sacrifices to calm Oyashiro-sama's anger. The four of us snuck into the shrine storage together. A simple equation. Does that mean that Keiichi and I were in danger? I got drunk, fell asleep, and decided to stay overnight. Was that because the alcohol? Or did someone put a drug in my drink? I mean, it's not like me to get drunk and spend a night at the hag's house. Holy shit, actually. Oh my god. I want to forget about what happened in the Eerie storehouse, so I drank too much. But it really was strange for me to get that drunk. Maybe. It was a good thing I woke up in the middle of the night. I could have been the one to wake up in a cell. I don't really blame you if, like, you are the one who, like, did all this, but oh my god. Holy shit. Again, I'll say this again. Ryukushi, I think that's, like, the author's, I guess, pen name here, Ryukushi, like, '07. Again, he, like, he is great at writing really in-depth character motivations and, like, experiencing their emotions, their feelings, one by one. It's honestly amazing. Like, this is so fucking in-depth. That's a writing strength right there. Sometimes it's hard to recognize danger when you've avoid it accidentally. Part of me wanted to just laugh at the idea about, but another part felt frightened that I was so close to being in Mion's position. If my thinking was correct, I wonder how Keiichi Maebara was doing right now. Does that mean that oh, that the phone calls are there just I guess have a way to talk and, like, still, like, pretend to be alive, I guess, a bit, but also, like, be completely missing at the same time. Because around this time, Shion was technically staying in the apartment, but obviously Kasai would start looking for her, technically speaking. But the most of the time, she had to pretend to be Mion during the school day. Oh gosh, there's also the whole thing of, like, I was thinking of a way of, like, how would she, like, pretend to even be, like, in this, be me on the school and all that, but, like, she can also, like, ask the teacher, Chi Sensei, like, what was happening, like, I guess homework assignments and all that, like, when she's leaving, so she could technically still be doing that along with what Mion told her. It's almost honestly the perfect fucking crime, the point that even Oishi doesn't even recognize it, especially since he trusts Shion, especially after the conversations they all had, and they stopped talking a bit, then all that. That that is so fucking amazing. If my thinking was correct, I wonder how Keiichi Maebara was doing right now. I didn't see him in any of the cells here. That didn't guarantee his safety. Takano-san and Tomataki-san had been executed. There was a possibility that Keiichi could already be dead. But just like what happened to Satoshi-kun, might only happen after a few days. On Sadako's birthday! Happy birthday, Sadako! Yay! You probably died before your birthday, which is even worse. When the sun rose, I was gonna pretend to be Mion and head to her school. I fucking called it. I was gonna try to see if Keiichi Maebara was safe. If he had already disappeared, the enemy would come after me next. I had to be a decoy for myself. But if he was still safe, I need to keep my eyes on him. I was sure the enemy would come after that scatterbrain. If I became Mion, Shion would disappear. The enemy would think Shion had already been demoned away, and they'd concentrate on Keiichi. If nothing happened to Keiichi, That would also be fine. It'd prove that nothing would happen to me either. The hag was still sleeping in the wheelchair. What decided to make you then decide to go and egg on Rika and then the mayor, unless... Holy shit, actually. Because if it wasn't you, but their bodies are still found the very bottom. But, like, obviously, Rika was called over, but obviously, there was... I can't remember if there was anything about any deductions for the mayor being related, like, being killed, definitely by Mion. They basically already Reina and Keiichi, like, together figured out it was technically, quote-unquote, Mion who killed and got rid of Rika and Sadako after, a bit of, investigation and all that, and that led to the final confrontation. Man, I only just rewatched, that's actually also the reason probably why Mion kept talking in, like, second and third person, basically calling herself a demon, and then also, saying, that's probably why Mion loved you. That makes a lot of sense. Also, like, well, yeah, like, no fucking wonder you won't be able to solve, I guess, that mystery at first. That's a whole sweeping of a lot, like, of difficulties and all that. Well, of course, like, the difficulty for that chapter was goddamn easy, because you kind of figure by the end, the villain there was quote-unquote Mion. But, that was entirely the truth, then. Huh. Plus the fact we never would have learned about her actually, like, having met and, having a crush on Hitoshi. The only kind of hint that would actually imply for you to think outside the box anyway is that tip from the fourth installment, which apparently never came to fruition if like Ryukishi like had more time. So it was all just about gears in the clock and how just looking across the shore how they could still be connected. The hag was still sleeping in the wheelchair. I was going to interrogate her, but actually, I wasn't expecting to learn that much. The one who was known as Empress Sonozaki probably wouldn't say a thing even if her fingers were cut off. Mion, her successor, was the complete opposite. She spoke readily, but didn't know too much about anything. Mion had said she was only a messenger, that someone else was taking care of problems on the other side. It was possible Mion had grown to be a good liar, that she tried to deceive me with a straight face. I brought up that before. At the same time, I could see the hag not letting Mion get involved in the underside of the village. If I were her, I wouldn't have used Mion for that either. Unlike me, Mion was a nice person. While there were only ones and zeros in the world, she believed there were numbers of decimal points. In other words, she could never be cruel. The hag thought the same way as I do. It was very possible. The one who took care of the problems on the underside, X, was the one who actually governed the curse of Oyashiro-sama. If the hag became concerned about something, X would deal with it, either directly or indirectly. Or maybe the hag and X would discuss the details first. Over a nice simple phone call. But did X really exist? Oh, the axis between X and home in the toy store. X to home. If he did, his place in the village hierarchy was a lot more important than that of the successor. Unlike Mion, who was too nice, he was discreet, cruel, and cunning. Furthermore, he was extremely close to the hag. Someone who would have a lot of contact with her just before it was time for the curse. Because the way Tomotaki-san died, it could be someone who regularly dealt with unusual drugs. He could be a member of the medical institution. No, sorry, none of the cast I can think of right now falls completely and perfectly in that position right now, honestly. No one absolutely does. No one does. God fucking damn it. The director of the Erie Clinic. Erie? In this isolated village, Eri was famous for opening such a beautiful clinic and working so hard for the villagers' sake. The villagers liked his mature personality and really respected him. There's nothing scarier than a doctor who's also a murderer. If Eri was the person behind the curse, all the mysterious deaths could be explained. It's gonna go down the whole rabbit hole that technically Sham was technically behind almost all the deaths. At the very least. Well, the next question is, for the first installment, how did she egg on, I guess, convince Reina? And, that's a whole different story because we don't have anything about she in the first installment, so, is that even technically still her? In the third one, if she was the one who killed the uncle, why would she, do that for Sadako's sake? And again, how would there be another uncle, for Sadako to be abused by the next day, and then the body just gone? Keiichi definitely dug a hole and killed someone, definitely. What was even happening there? That doesn't make any sense. And I also heard this one other thing, just want to say right now, it's somewhat tangentially related to this right now. I heard people say they got way much better at murder mystery stuff and just solving them just by going through Yumeneko, so that's gonna be interesting when I get to that. If Eri was the person behind the curse, all the mysterious deaths could be explained. Fucking goddamn it. I swear to fucking God, you're gonna pull it up and just say it's wrong? How fucking dare you, game? However, there was only a slim chance of Eri being X. How fucking dare you, you fucking decimal point goddamn chip-brain individual. I'm gonna read that part again, that zeros and ones. Unlike me, Mina was a nice person. While there are only ones and zeros in this world, she believed there were numbers of decimal points. Oh, that's just a roundabout way of just saying black and white. That's an interesting way to put it that way. That's actually intriguing. But also, what the actual fuck, Shion? Oh my god. Holy shit, you actually were slowly going insane. And no one recognized it. And no one could help. Because of how you were brought up. Holy shit. The main reason being the hag wouldn't trust him. Like many of the elderly, the hag doesn't like young people. I knew she'd never trust him because of his age. Furthermore, she had openly criticized behavior among the relatives once. Although Eri's famous, he was an outsider all. Well, yeah, but that just technically means that no one so far fits the bill who's an older person, and technically might be involved in the whole death business. Then, if at the very least you're concluding that this one is he's definitely has something to do, and had connections to making the Shiro-sama's curse. That doesn't make any you're right. That doesn't make any sense at all then. But then that means technically no one we have fits the bill unless you actually assume it's the mayor, and that's why you definitely killed him then. Which is... that's actually kind of fucking reasonable in this kind of logic. Holy shit. He wasn't born here. He tried to maintain a good relationship with the villagers, the director of the clinic, but that was just on the surface. I couldn't even imagine the hag telling him about her worries or about the village's underside. If she was as suspicious of the others as I was, then she only garnered trustworthy people to deal with that underside. The first people that came to mind were the leaders of the three families. Leaving Rika-chama out, the head of the Kimiyoshi family is a strong possibility. Wow, I'm a step ahead, or fucking god, my thoughts are being read. God damn it. Fucking Christ. Or at the very least, the writer definitely was listening to so much feedback about the other games and incorporating into the games, which is also kind of fun. He was the one who could advise Empress Sonozaki. I'm just wondering if there's a Let's Player or anyone who basically nailed everything the first try. How close they got, honestly. They were of a similar age. Everyone knew that they were very close outside the family councils. You know, that's one thing, but my next question is then, technically speaking, because unless, like, figuring out when the... If it was that, it would kind of explain that, but I'm trying to think if he was behind it all, and, like, Oreo has an alibi for some things. If he was behind it, and if we're gonna assume that the quote-unquote, I guess, a teaser that Satoshi leaving his own house is when he technically killed someone when barefoot. We immediately, like, saw a scene a few minutes later that the mayor was already, like, together with Oreo and has an alibi the entire time. Like, sure, he could be the person leading the underside, but that doesn't mean he technically killed Satoshi. Although, I guess under your, like, logic and all that, it would make sure he's responsible, but, there's not really proof of it. That's just, deduction and, you know, reasoning and all that. Furthermore, as the mayor, he often went to the Sonozaki house just before Wanta and Higurashi to discuss festival preparations. I could easily picture them talking privately. The one to execute the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The one who murdered Takano-san to Mataki-san. The mastermind behind the mysterious deaths that have been going for the past 5 years. The worst part is, like, all this logic she's, like, putting out is reasonable. But all, like, sets apart only because of things we learned after all this has gone and over with. Was he coming after me? Did he get to Satoshi-kun? When I thought about Satoshi-kun, I felt elevated. I was fearful of possibly being this year's victim until just a moment ago. I was scared that X was after me. But when I thought about it, I realized, whoever it was, this person had gotten Satoshi-kun. I had looked so hard, but I couldn't find him. I almost forgotten about this enemy. For better or for worse, he was going to appear before me again. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find that enemy. But now, he was trying to find me. Did you, like, fake a corpse or something like that, and that's why you're trying to hide? And, like, technically, you are still out there on the run? If, like, people found your quote-unquote dead body at the bottom of the ladder? Did you honestly fake your own death in the apartment complex? I don't know how that's possible, though, at the exact same time. Because I can kind of buy if they can somehow, like, if they can somehow fake the apartment death, like, by having two, like, fake dead bodies, then there's that, but, again, how do you do that? How do you make sure, like, like, since we already know, like, the whole family knows Oreo's dead, how then do you make the connections, like, into the police department, then to, fake a body? It's... That was it. I wasn't only being chased. I was chasing, too. When I realized all this, I was no longer afraid of dying to the 5th year's curse. It had become a game. I was only being threatened. I was threatening back, too. Now was the time to settle the score for Satoshi-kun. Now was the time to awaken passions that had grown weak over the past year. I could feel righteous indignation and courage flare up within me. The only emotion that could defeat fear is anger. When my anger completely overtook my fear, I felt as if I were reborn. Why don't you wake up, Grandma? Oh my god, holy shit. Oh my god, this is so goddamn... Oh my god, this is amazing. I kicked your wheelchair rather violently. I thought it said rather lovingly. Just, but now I'm just... How the fuck would you even do that? I kicked the wheelchair rather lovingly. Wait the fuck up, Grandma! Shakes wheelchair, pushes down the stairs lovingly. My god. I didn't wake her up either. I just pretended to be asleep. I grabbed her hair and pulled her head up. And then the hag stayed asleep with a straight face. Did you accidentally shock her to death? It was modified. Holy shit. I noticed something. I looked for appropriate torture device. They are all large scale, none of them being particularly handy. That's when I saw a cigarette lighter on a cushion in a tatami room. Oh my god. One of the relatives must have left it there. I lit the lighter. A huge flame appeared. I turned the lighter off and went back to the hag with it. Can you see it? Can't you see it? This is a cigarette lighter somebody left behind. I lit in front of her eyes. I'm gonna burn your nose now. You don't want that, do you? Oh my god. I wouldn't want it. So why don't you quit pretending to be asleep? There's still no response. I put the flame right under her nose without hesitation. The tip of the flame touched the tip of her nose. The flame must have burned her nose hair. It smelled terrible. I was very certain. But I continued anyway. I brought the flame closer to her eye. What the? Oh my god! Her eyelid didn't move one bit. The flame burned her eyelashes, making it smell awful again. I turned the lighter off and felt her throat and wrist. I didn't feel any warmth. I didn't feel a pulse either. Did she die from the stun gun? Wow, I called that immediately. Holy shit. There's no way she could pretend to be asleep while being burned. Even if she could endure the pain. Anyone would respectively move their eyelids if a flame came too close to their eyes. But she didn't. I turned the sink water on and the end of the hose of the hag's face. She's dead. The water pressure wasn't too high. By squeezing the tip of the hose, I could make it squirt out. The water hit the hag in the face, but there was still no reaction. Oh god, Mion was like watching all this. Holy shit. Shit. You gotta be kidding me. She's dead. The one who's at the center of everything is dead now. I knew she wouldn't talk. I didn't expect her to end up dead like this. Never even thought of killing her. I walked around the room restlessly. Didn't feel guilty. Unless I just felt frustrated with what I'd done. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on. I need to calm down. What do I need to be afraid of? Calm down and stay cool. Calm down. Stay cool. My brain's starting to calm down. Emotions cooling down with it. Okay. She was my true enemy. We just thought I killed her before confronting her about it. Man, but you couldn't do a cool villain monologue to her then, before killing her. Man, those are always cool though. Sooner or later, I would have killed her anyway. She wouldn't have said anything in the first place, so there wasn't really a reason why I should have let her live. Okay, you're rationalizing all this, okay. I didn't realize that until now, and that's why I got frustrated. Man. My revenge for Satoshi-kun started with the unexpected death of my grandmother. It was such a strange feeling, like I was wearing sopping wet clothes. Huh. So basically, almost like the one thing that you care about most in the world you thought you never did care about was the catalyst that made you go crazy. Okay, then. Holy shit. I replaced that feeling with anger. I couldn't forgive her. I couldn't forgive the hag for abusing the Hojo family, including Satoshi-kun, for so many years. She cornered him psychologically as well as physically. And... Huh. That's why That's why Mion said Sadako was cursed. She had never liked Sadako either. Holy fucking shit. Well, like, Sadako wasn't the target then. My god. Or from the sound of it, oh my god. If, like, she actually knew Rika was gonna come anyway, Sadako would just be a bonus then if she thought that far ahead. Oh my god! I couldn't forget the hag for abusing the Hojo family, including Satoshi-kun, for so many years. She cornered him psychologically as well as physically. She didn't deserve an easy death from a stun gun. I picked up a whip that was hanging on the wall. The whip was designed to make sure the person in the receiving end got seriously injured. I swung it up, and then down. The sound reminded me of when I was a child hitting things with a jump rope I pretended was a whip. Is it bad to mention I did that before as a kid? Am I a psychopath? I technically love the character of a psychopath then. Oh my god. But unlike then, I made a purple mark in the hag's face, and a reddish black blood started oozing out. I swung up, and then down again. The son of the whip hits her in the head. Her hair flew in the air. Okay, that's a wig. I saw a bunch of her hair on the tip of the whip. The end of the bunch of hair was a piece of her skin. I seen the whip had ripped part of her scalp off. Okay. I continued to hit her with the whip. Didn't bother removing the hair beforehand. The tip of the whip was divided into many points, with each point having a fish hook in the end. Those hooks added to the speed of the whip. Not only scratched the victim, but tore their skin as well. The hag's hair was all messed up and her face was getting bloody. She started to look like a real demon. I stopped the whipping. Because my arm was tired, but because I couldn't stand the feeling of her hair and the tip touching me every time I swung the whip. Oh boy. It honestly does make sense why she, like, hated the hag, like, oh my god, just call her that anyway. Like, it makes complete sense why she even hates, like Oriented the Season 2. It's like she was being... If she already heard all the stories and also learned about how much Oreo hated her, like, hated Shion so much, I don't exactly blame her from that. The same exact reasoning for why I'm, like, if it was, like, Satoshi killed him, like, the aunt, and why the same reason why Keiichi decided to kill him, the uncle. The exact same kind of reason. At least to me. I threw the whip at the hag. Breathing heavily, I realized it was covered in her hair. It almost felt like 1,000 maggots crawling all over me. I brushed it off violently. You deserve this, you fucking demon hag. Put my hands on my knees and exhaled roughly. It was then I noticed it. I perked up and turned around. There it is. The person had been watching me since I snuck into the shrine storage. I sensed this person sitting in the Tommy room and enjoyed watching me torture my grandmother. An overwhelming emotion started to swallow me up. I tried desperately to feel it. How long have you been there? You should have said something. It was just there. Just like Satoshi kinda was just there. It's extremely uncomfortable to have it just be there. I see. Rina told me. Are you Oyashiro-sama? I smiled boldly, and I could feel my body shivering. You can't fool me. Are you saying that you're Oyashiro-sama, and the curse of Oyashiro-sama really does exist? Come on! Who would believe something like that? Huh? It was just my imagination. It couldn't be the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse couldn't be real. My god, there's just so many fucking things happening. Oh my good god, this is cool. Good god, this is amazing. Oh my god. Everything was done by humans. They made everything look like it was a curse. Well, I don't care if you saw what I did. Well, also the fact that presence was with me the entire time, and it done make you feel crazy. Well, I don't care if you saw what I did. I won't charge you for it. But if you're thinking about interfering, I won't hold back, you know. No matter what I said, nothing happened. It's like trying to communicate with an insect. I felt like I was staring at a spider in the middle of his web. The spider was staring back. I turned to the hag in the wheelchair. Couldn't leave her body here forever. Well, I don't need to make her death known. I should be quick. It's best if a body doesn't exist. Make sure there's no such thing as beginning. Not even the secret underground torture room. I exhaled to try to calm myself down. Oh. I remember now. Hi, Mion! You've been watching us this whole time? You want to join in the action? When I was a little girl, Kasai used to love making me feel scared. He often told me scary stories about various horrible things. Being almost primed. And if so many terrible things happened to you as a kid, unless you got traumatized, you might become desensitized to it. Doesn't make you psychopath, but it just makes you desensitized. I recalled a story about the secret torture room of the Sonozaki family. According to the story, there was a well in this torture room for dumping bodies in. There's a pile of tortured corpses at the bottom of the well, and resentful moans could be heard echoing from there. About halfway down the well, there was a different tunnel, which was a secret passage leading to the distant mountains. That bit was from Mion's telling of the story. It was probably an amalgamation of tellings from different relatives. The room was supposed to be a huge secret, but everyone got loose lips the chance to have fun scaring the young successor. Mion, do you remember one of our relatives talking about a hidden well a long time ago? There's supposed to be a hidden well somewhere in the underground torture room. It's continuing a secret passage. The survivor of this, like the second installment, Shion or Mion, like, wasn't able to answer interview questions at all. At all. Did you hear some noise earlier? That was me whipping the old lady. Mion didn't reply, but I saw her bite her lip. Don't worry. I won't whip you. But if you don't cooperate, I might punish her some more. Next time, I won't use a whip. Down at the end. Do you see a cell in the darkness? It's in there. She pointed weakly. I walked down to where her finger indicated. A light bulb lit up the cell. The light's a lot smaller than the one Mion was in. It was very shallow. I didn't even need to open the door to see how tiny it was. Of course, there was no well in there. I became angry. It seemed that she lied to me. After considering it, I didn't actually think she would at this point. I opened the door and walked in. I noticed something immediately. Holy fuck. There was an opening right in the middle of the cell. This opening was naturally disguised. My god. I guess the one question I had is then what exactly did Mion want, like, threaten her sister with that caused her to, like, use a taser and actually jumpstart this entire thing all over? I'm now more curious about that. Okay. Because a whole series of misunderstandings has kind of happened, I'm wondering. And because the whole thing with the stun gun, and, like, thinking, like, Shin was in danger, and, like, she stunned, Oreo. That literally just now kickstarted everything from happening just because of the stun gun. Just because of that. Just because of that. What was so important in that conversation or in that phone call that got Mion to threaten Shion like that? This opening was naturally disguised. The way the rocks and the shadows were positioned perfectly hid the well. The tip of a rock inside the cell concealed the entrance. Unless you went in, you'd never notice. It's such a shallow cell that nobody would even think of going in. Besides, the bars allow you to see the inside well enough. The cell is not even a few meters deep, so it would take only take a glance to see everything. That's why the police never found it. They just assumed all the same way. They can just look inside quickly and they would think there'd be nothing to look inside there. Holy shit. I don't even know. My god. Like, of course, now the very second she like stunned and all, like stunned Mion and like Oreo, it all just made sense of what happened. Then it just doesn't make sense of like what happened afterwards. Then, even the worst part is that technically she technically also like was talking to Oishi and like gained his trust a tiny bit and like got information about him, about the police records and all that, like some leads. Oh god, she was kind of perfect position, honestly. And again, like, because the whole Sonozaki family hierarchy, like, being taken, be treated terribly. Oh boy. Nobody would think of unlocking the door and walking in, but walking in was the only way anyone could find the cell. Furthermore, there were many cells in this huge cave. Who would think that one of them was hiding a secret well? The inside of the well was dark. I couldn't see anything, but every noise I made produced echoes. I could tell this was a very deep well. So technically Shion, like, slipped when falling down, climbing the ladder? I brought a flashlight from the torture room and shone it down the well. Almost like a vertical tunnel. Obviously a man made one at that. There were wedges in the wall, like a ladder, and it looked as if they were inviting me to descend. Come on down, Shion, you want to take a look around? Yahoo! It's kind of ironic that the secret escape route from the underground torture room ended up being a well that takes you even further down. Well, I mean, no one would ever think that, so that makes it the perfect place to make it. Just go down even further, then walk another mile, then it slowly, slows upwards back to another exit, far away. Gangster hideout. Secret exits. Honestly, it's actually a really cool idea to even hide, like, a secret vertical tunnel in a random prison cell. And then all you have to do is, make sure you don't fucking put a prisoner in there. Because then, I'm pretty sure then they'll be able to escape if they saw it. Or, they, don't realize it. And then, they sit in the middle of the room. And then, they fall to their fucking deaths. So I guess either way, it'd be a win-win for anyone who put the cell in there. My god. It's kind of ironic the secret escape route from the underground torture room ended up being in a well that takes you even further down. You had no way of knowing whether it would take you to freedom or to hell. Furthermore, there were the tortured bodies of past victims at the bottom. Who would be able to go down this well without hesitation? Nobody in their right mind could go down this well to look for a secret tunnel, hearing the voice of the dead all the while. In the very second, oh boy, the very second, oh, I'm just gonna remember the last phone call. After, the very second Keiichi, like, pointedly asked, quote-unquote, me on the last phone call in the second installment, like, Keiichi just basically just, like, accusing, like, her being a Mion. She basically just figured it out all from there and started laughing maniacally to sell the idea that she, like, was pretending to be Mion. Oh, God. Holy shit, this is amazing. I don't know what to say else besides that. Like, my god. Because, like, I always pay attention to, like, behavior stuff and all that. But until, I guess, the beginning of this chapter, it wouldn't make sense at all. It would not fucking make sense at all. But then, again, if this was all... If Shion always coming to this location was always gonna happen, with the exception of I guess the small detail of who the fuck the doppelganger for Takano is inviting her to go to Richard's storehouse, or the fact she invites Keiichi along with them to the like is like the option here, then what fucking causes the first and third installment to happen? What? What? What the fuck? Who the fuck is Takano? Have you ever gone down that well, Mion? Never even wanted to. But come on, secret wells going down to the deep dark blackness of a ladder, and secret exits in a large expansive, torture cave. Why wouldn't you want to go down there in a deep dark abyss? Why wouldn't you as a kid? Why wouldn't you when your imagination can go wild? Why wouldn't you? Never wanted to. I feel the same way. Why would I go down the well where they toss the victims of this torture room? Nah, kids always like that. Every single kid, without exception, is a psychotic Satanist. Every single time. Every single one of them. I went back to the torture room and then returned to the cave, pushing the wheelchair containing the hag. Mion screamed. Shion, are you gonna push Granny down the well? No, I'm not. I'm just dumping her body. She's dead. Rest assured, I didn't torture her to death. It was probably the stun gun. Maybe her heart failed. I could just leave her body here, but I don't want it to rot, you know? How could you... Hey, do you want me to take care of her even now that she's dead? Maybe you can use chopsticks to pick maggots up her body. Huh? Mia uncovered her ears and shook her head. I mean, at that point, since I understand why, like, Mia reacted that way, but again, how the fuck would you, how the fuck were you, like, if you're in that situation, how the fuck would you react at this point? Like, it feels like this whole sort of thing of, yeah, oh my god, holy shit, it's a whole paranoid, mass hysteria thing, and it targeted her a bit. Even if, like, that weird shadow thing did not come around and, like, stay around her and harass her for an entire year and make her believe it was not, like, Satoshi, then I wonder if technically what all still happened. Or at least, maybe she would have stopped, like, sooner, like, maybe took things way differently then, actually. Holy shit. Mia uncovered her ears and shook her head. Everything I said seemed to bother Mion. Her own life wasn't guaranteed at this point. Shion, why did you do this? Let's see. What do you think? Nobody said anything for a while, but the sounds was soon broken. Satoshi? Is this revenge? I don't know if it was really revenge since it happened so quickly. I'm sure she died without feeling a thing. Yeah, I'm pretty, like, Mion, I'm pretty sure to all this, you should actually, like, kind of recognize, I actually, like, literally just, her death is actually accidental, but, the rest is not. The rest is not. Hey, Mion, now that I think about it, I did have a reason to kill Grandma. Just put that as the official motive, then. Do you know what it was? It wasn't just because she killed Satoshi-kun. It's because she lied. I saw the hag's head. You said it too. You told me that I ripped out my nails, she would forgive everyone. That's why I ripped out 3 of my nails. I did what you told me to do, right? But you didn't keep her promise. She made Satoshi-kun disappear anyway. Why? What was that for, then? I continued to slap the hag's head. Her blood was over my hand by then. It felt gross. I tried to wipe it off on her clothes, but then her hair got on my hand. I went to the sink in the torture room and washed my hands with a brush. Make sure you get underneath the fingernails. When I was done, I went back to Mion's cell. After Satoshi-kun disappeared, you came over and told me. You said the relationship between me and Satoshi-kun was forgiven. You also said that the Sonozaki main house had nothing to do with Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Yeah, You lied! Lied. My shouts echoed throughout the cave. I was breathing heavily. I felt like I used up all the air in my lungs. I believe you don't know anything. You aren't even sure the old lady actually trusted you. But I don't know if she forgave Satoshi-kun because of what I did. She wouldn't have told you the truth. The hag didn't keep her promise. It actually fucking all makes sense, like, even from this perspective, actually, either, too. And the only thing going on of, like, me saying it's not is I just got feelings, but I honestly do think it wasn't the Sonozaki group. But honestly, I don't have anything supporting that. It just, honestly, literally only just gut fucking feelings. Like, fucking Oishi! Ah! She said she'd forgive everyone, but she lied. She didn't forgive. She didn't forgive Satoshi-kun. Liar. Damn it. Give me back Satoshi-kun. I want him back. I want him. I kicked the hag's leg repeatedly. Each time I kicked, the wheelchair made a squeaky noise. I ran out of breath and kneeled down. Mia was still covering her ears and was now shaking. There were tears in her eyes. Sorry to scare you. Sorry about that. If you really don't know, I won't torment you. Don't worry, but if you were ever lying to me, well, you have to accept whatever comes your way. You know what I mean? Oh god, I can't even, like, this is not a whole thing of, like, someone is evil either. This is literally just, so, like, literally just Shion, just someone from the very beginning has always just been, being, I guess, the runt of the litter. And then, she tried to make her own way in the world and, like, try to reject everyone she hated. And then try to make her own name for herself with some allies, and then, because the whole thing with, like, revealing to, like, you know, ally with Satoshi, then him going disappearing, she now kind of felt like a burden to them. And even then, she had very small allies in the family, and then those people would be pressured from the rest. This is technically one of the reasons why I don't like the idea of Lily just putting all, like, I guess, excluding someone like that, because sometimes shit like this happens where they feel justified, and sometimes it honestly does feel like it is justified at all. It all is. That's what it feels like. And then there's no way to stop that barrel from happening and falling and rolling down a steep hill with no stop. The barrel just keeps going and going until there's no scrap of wood and metal rings left. You know what I mean? Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Sting of payback took the first step towards revenge. Holy shit. I feel invigorated again. Oh my god. Okay, next... next two, I think? 83. Oh boy. I wasn't planning to kill the hag so quickly. Where did you hide these journals? The police didn't read these and find these. I was gonna kill her anyway, but it was too soon. You only realize you're gonna kill her after she was dead. Oh god, you're rationalizing your brain. Oh no. Oh fucking no. I was gonna kill her anyway, but it was too soon. People normally assume the Sonozaki family operates as a hierarchy, but that's not true. It's actually more like a system of government. Several ministries stem from the main family, and each forms a hierarchy of its own. These ministries don't communicate with one another. People belong to a given ministry don't know what other ministries are doing. That way, the Sonozaki family's dealings are kept perfectly secret. Of course, the most important people in the family govern several ministries. They know, of course, about their own ministries, and they know a little bit about the ministries that their relatives run, but none of them know everything. There are ministries that work in the open. There are ministries that work unseen. And there are some smaller ones that Oreo runs herself. Oh boy. It's like everything is serviced out. Oh god. Oh no, literally Takano's like even like conspiracy theory got to you. Oh god. Because of all the fucking distrust and like the people nearby gave conspiracy theories. And then it's small distrust that even like someone near you technically could be responsible for the one thing you cared about in the world. And how broad the conspiracy theory laid that actually sounded true, but like, ugh, you couldn't put it down on a smaller scale. Oh my good god. There are ministries that work in the open. There are ministries that work unseen. And there are some smaller ones that Oreo runs herself. Mion seems to know about most of them, but she doesn't necessarily know them all. In fact, she didn't know about the curse. Considering that, The fact that the hag died before I could interrogate her is a huge loss. My good God. 185. The head of the Kimiyoshi family was the one who called the main house most often after the 5th year's curse. My father called the second most. My parents were still high in the hierarchy, but the stir caused my mother's disownment still hung over us, so we got treated as outcasts. Yeah, that was the thing. That's what I was talking about. Oh my God. So the fact that my father received so many calls provided how much the hag valued us, despite the distance at which we were kept, demonstrating her own two-faced respect for both sides of the coin. My father seems to be in charge of the intelligence bureau. He reported police information, gossip, and rumors going around in the Yakuza business to the hag. He silences, stirs, and distorts the information at her request. By the way, my servant Kasai is an old friend of my father's. Yep. Yep. That must be why Kasai knows many things. But I don't know if my father's involved in the curse's execution. My assumption is that although he gathered information in the police investigation of the case, he wasn't involved in the execution itself. And the fact that my father and the hag have this close connection isn't widely known. People know that she uses an information network, but they don't look very far beyond that. In the same way, it's possible that the curse execution team exists under the hag's direct control. People just aren't aware of it. It's... Now these just two notebooks just sound like just... her trying to theorize even more, but now... It almost now, with this new context, like, almost into small conspiracy theories. Holy shit. I'm trying to think if there was anything, like, actually pointing that it actually was Shion in the first installment from the very beginning. But, like, if, like, Shion called Keiichi and did all his phone calls, literally just to, try to gauge what he knows, like, maybe something is going on around him, then, yeah, oh god, Keiichi actually did leave him, Keiichi did leave a whole thing of blaming Shion too at the end, and she hung up. I can't tell if that actually got through to her a tiny bit, or actually just made her, like, start blaming Keiichi in turn. Oh god, she's used to that. Fucking Christ. It's almost the same thing that happened with Keiichi in the third installment. Of, like, there was so many different ways that, things failed for him and other people around him as friends. Then he felt the need that, the only thing he could do was kill. And the worst part is I can't think of it, it's all coincidences, or at the very least there was manipulation involved, so I can't quite say there's anything wrong, I guess, with exactly his line of thought, especially since even when the tips brought up him, even the Child Protective Services realized that the situation Sadako in was dangerous, they still didn't do anything by the very end, before everyone died. They still didn't come. Even though they put it at a high priority and tried to urge that documentation through, it still wasn't even there. And that goes with them, that's even the side that Keiichi doesn't even realize that's what's happening. Because even though people tried to help, they were stopped too. Oh god. The barrel just keeps on rolling.